Okay, so in continuation of my best practices in order to get or stay fit, the biggest elephant in the room that everyone talks about is diet. Sleep, no one talks about. So that's why I covered it first, and it is the most important. So second part is diet. So here's my take on diet, and I'm filming this in my own kitchen where I prepare most of the meals. And I'm having chicken soup with chicken broth that I made from a Costco rotisserie chicken with leftover tofu and black beans and some shiitake mushrooms. If that sounds very virtuous, keep in mind also this morning I made 5 very large Annie's organic cinnamon rolls with icing, and I had 2 of them. So that said, diet. People wonder what my diet is, what I eat, and how much I eat, and all these other things. Everybody is different, so I don't want to talk about too much about myself, but I will bring some points up. So first thing first is one of the best sayings that I know of is you can't outwork a bad diet. Meaning, if you eat crappy, I don't care how much you exercise, you can't possibly get ahead of that bad diet. And with that said, as with everything, you need to have some consistency in your diet, okay? And with that, and having that consistency, something that really controls it, and if you can, prepare your own meals. Because the biggest thing of processed, not only processed food, is when you eat out, you have no idea what they're putting in your food. And I'm not saying non-organic and full of hormones. I'm talking about the sodium intake, the portion control, all these other factors. These are things that are completely out of your control, even though you're paying for them. But if you start preparing your own meals, as time-consuming as that seemingly sounds like, if you're not used to it, that is the path to getting fit and staying fit. That's how I do it, if I'm being honest. If I'm going to say 2 things, it's the consistency of me preparing my own meals. And with that, the part of preparing your own meals is that level of control. And human beings, despite what some people might think, love consistency. They like things to stay the same. They like the status quo. They don't want things to change because those changes, and speaking on a food level, affects your gastrointestinal system. It affects your metabolism. It affects your mood. It just cascades in all kinds of problems. And the other benefit, or not benefit, or penalty is weight gain. And so with that, learn how to prepare your own meals. I think meal prep is awesome. And even if you don't prepare your own meals and take the middle ground, is take advantage of these meal prep services because it splits the difference. They're very good with the nutrition labels. There's so many of them now in larger metropolitan areas. If you have the access and the finances to do it, and you don't have the time to make your own food, or you think you're frankly not a very good cook, which is very common, try using meal prep as opposed to using DoorDash or going out and eating, and that consistency of having those meals come in, week out, knowing like Wednesday or Thursday is going to be taco night, or for us, Tuesday is going to be rotisserie chicken night or chicken night if I don't feel like changing things up, and Saturday is steak night. And that's true. We eat a very well-balanced diet. And that said, that brings me to the next point, is everything in moderation. And I don't believe in highly restrictive diets because they are unsustainable long-term. They might work for a few weeks to get a shortcut, but the sustainability is what you're looking for, and that's where it all ties in with the consistency and moderation. And what moderation will do is keep you from losing your sanity and make you want to make Tuesday chicken night, Saturday steak night, Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday a fish night or tofu. Like this is what this tofu was left over from. But if I had to pick a diet, the one diet I would pick is called the slow carb diet. And I'll leave a link to it. And I first heard of it from Tim Ferriss. There's tons of resources on it. And the beauty of the slow carb diet is it's not that restrictive. And therefore, it makes it compliance much, much easier with it. And the best part of it is you get one cheat day a week. So you get to stay on this diet, which again is not that restrictive. But on the 7th day, you get to go nuts. You get to go and eat this entire roll or whatever's left of this entire roll and not have any guilt. And the beauty of that system is eventually and very quickly after those binges, you're going to realize, I don't like that crap. I like what I've been eating this last 6 days or the last 6 days for the last 6 day cycles. And so that's the only diet that I would recommend to people because it's not restrictive and it has that built-in cheat day, and that slowly deconditions you from the diets you have. And with that, find your best fuel source. And this is where it comes into me personally. I ate crappy for the longest time. And again, bringing it back to this, I would have plowed through half a dozen of Krispy Kreme warm donuts or 3 or 4 Cinnabons, the legit Cinnabons. Maybe not that many. No problem. I'm sure I'd have a tummy ache, but I would eat that. And we eat it and think, I've got a fast metabolism. I can go and do it, and it's going to give me energy, and I can go do things. But like, little did I know what it felt like. What it felt like. Well, I did know. I just didn't realize the difference of a sugar crash after those 6 Krispy Kreme donuts, those 2 Cinnabons. And when you make the correlation of your bad fuel source and how bad that makes you feel, as opposed to when you find your secret sauce, the fuel source that you really crave, I wouldn't say crave, truly fuels you without any side effect, then it's a game changer. In my case, it was protein. It's not like I didn't eat protein before I discovered this, but when I realized the shift from going from carbohydrates and trying to cut that down and focusing on trying to increase my protein intake and making protein my main fuel source, especially in the morning, it was a massive game changer for me. I would go, when I was eating junk carbs, for a little while, I was doing about 18 months of eating pancakes, no joke. And this was in my 30s and late 30s. And when I switched to a protein source, and it happens to be a pitch for organic protein, plant-based protein source, I found that boost in that increased uptake of protein gave me sustained energy throughout the morning to where I wasn't having to binge eat because I was starving by 10:30. I can go till easily past noon to 1. And with that, once you find that optimum fuel source, which, spoiler alert, try protein, try to increase the amount of time between your meals. And I'm not saying intermittent fasting. The longer you go without eating means the less calories, in theory, you'll take in, as long as you don't wait too long and become hypoglycemic and just binge. If you stagger time, the intervals between your meals, it will control how many calories you take in. And finding that optimum time frame takes experimentation. And again, you want to avoid not eating so long that you're famished and you start eating this as opposed to the soup, because this is just convenient, or a bag of chips. And trust me, I do it. I do that all the time, but I kick myself for doing that and knowing, like, well, should have just taken off work a little bit earlier, or taken a break earlier, and at least had a protein bar, or done something like that in order to stop that eating the chips or eating the Cinnabons. And to that, along with that increased time between meals, stop eating before you're full. This is another behavioral conditioning that I wish I had learned earlier. And being on the standard American diet, the SAD diet, and having access to so much food, I wish I learned to stop before I'm full, because you will be amazed if you try this and try stopping eating before you're full, how full you'll feel later, and you realize, wow, I was about to eat the other 3 ounces of that 8-ounce steak just to finish it, and that half-baked potato or whatever. And it turns out I stopped before that and I didn't eat it, as opposed to old Will would have just wolfed it all down and be like, okay, let's go. And those are calories in, and those are calories that aren't going out, especially at night if you go to sleep. So stop before you're full. Once you're able to get all these parts done, the big picture is finding your optimum weight and sustainable weight, because this is where these yo-yo diets and yo-yo weights that people get is really bad for your metabolism. It reshapes your fat cells, and trying to find, going back to sanity, finding a weight that you can sustain without losing your mind, without starving yourself, without depriving yourself of things that make life fun, like cinnamon rolls. That's the toughest thing to do, if you even get to that point. And that's the goal, is to be able to find that optimum balance in order to keep this happy, keep you strong, keep you healthy, and keeping you looking good. Because that, to be honest, that's what we're doing this for. And with that, and in the big picture, the bonus round, if you can even do this, this is going to help you a lot if you live with someone or have a life partner or whatever you want to define it as. Finding someone that supports you in your endeavor of trying to not live off of these and trying to live off of this soup, a healthy soup. I'm fortunate, I have that, and that really makes life so much easier when you're both on board about what you're going to have on that Tuesday night, what you're going to have on that Wednesday and Thursday night, and what you're going to have on the Saturday night, and that you're going to skip the cheesecake for dessert. So end goals, life goals, try to find that partner to help you make that. So I hope all these tips kind of help you. It's a loose guideline. Like I said, everyone is different, but I think these guidelines that I gave really can help anyone. Thanks for watching.